Hello, welcome back to week 2 of your digital learning. I hope that you guys are all doing well, and I'm excited for you to be back in art virtually. Even though I miss you guys, I miss my classroom, I wish we could be together, but I'm excited that we still get the opportunity to be creative and learn together. So, this week, as you can tell, we are learning about and reviewing lines. Now, a lot of this is a review. Lines are something that we go over every single year, and we've actually already gone over it a little bit this year, so we're going to review. And then the assignments that I give you this week, you're going to apply what you learn about lines in new ways to what you do. So, lines. Lines are one of the 7 elements of art. We talk about how the elements of art are those really important building blocks of any type of art, whether it's a painting, drawing, oil pastel, street art, spray paint, sculpture, anything like that. Elements of art are always going to be in it. And some of those elements of art that we've talked about this year are texture, color, shape, and line. There are more than that, but those are just kind of the basic ones we've really covered this year. So lines are one of the most important because every work of art that you create involves lines, whether you believe it or not. When you are drawing something, you're starting out with lines. When you are writing something, what are you using? Lines to make the letters. When you are painting, whatever type of brush stroke you make is a line, believe it or not. When you are creating a sculpture, if you look at it, you will see lines either on the outline of the sculpture or within the sculpture. So lines are super important. Now, there are lots of different things to talk about with lines. Number 1, let's talk about direction. So lines that are going straight up and down are called vertical lines. Lines that go across are called diagonal, and lines that go from side to side, those are called horizontal. And if you remember when we were practicing that, we were kind of practicing our karate, right? We were saying vertical, diagonal, and horizontal. So you can kind of practice your karate chops when you do that. There are also what we talk about and what it's called is the weight of a line. Now, the weight of a line is talking about how thin or thick a line is. So if a line is considered to have a light weight, then it's going to be a thinner line like up here. Medium weights, and then a heavy line is going to be a thick, dark line. So a heavy line is something that we called a bold line. And what I taught you earlier this year is when we talk about bold lines, we talk about how they are really strong. They make something that you're creating stand out. So when we talk about bold lines, we talk about a strong line. If you want a part of your drawing or a word or something like that to stand out, to catch people's attention, you're going to use a bold line. So bold lines are those heavy, dark lines. All right, we also talk about different types of lines. Now there are many more than this, but this is just kind of the basic beginning ones. We talk about wavy lines, go up and down like a wave. We talk about zigzag, my personal favorite if you remember, dashed and dotted, bumpy. This one we liked, it was called castle. It reminded us of the top of castles. Curly or loopy. There's some more, and you can combine different types of lines. So another type of line that we talked about is kind of that rainbow line. It's a curved line, right? And then let's talk about combining some. What if I wanted to make a wavy line that's made up of dashed lines, right? Or a zigzag line that's made up of dots, or a dotted line. So there are many ways you can combine different types of lines as well. And then for my older kiddos, we talk about how lines can help us show different things. So a big thing that lines can help show in a work of art is movement. So take a look down here at the bottom. I tried to draw a ball that looks like it's bouncing kind of. That dashed line behind the ball that's wavy is helping us understand that that's supposed to look like it's bouncing on the floor. So if you look into things like comic books and drawings like that, you're going to see that lines really help us visually understand that something is supposed to look like it's moving. So lines help show movement. They help our eye move across a work of art. And then one last thing to cover. I have these 2 big words down here, contour and gesture, gesture with a G. So if we're talking about a contour line, we're talking about an outline of something. This is just a basic outline of an apple. There's not a lot of detail, not a lot of texture, color, anything like that. It's just a basic outline of an apple. So that would be called a contour line. Gesture. Gesture, when I talk about sketching something out, I'm usually talking about using gesture lines. So a gesture drawing is when you do a quick sketch that has lots of movement in it. I use lots of short lines, and I was just practicing getting the form down, the basic shape of the apple down. It wasn't a nice, perfect outline like this. It was more of a quick sketch. You can still tell what it is, but it's not perfect. There's lots of lines, lots of movement, lots of repetition when you're trying to draw a gesture. So a gesture, when I talk about sketch, that's another word for it, gesture, contour and gesture. So this week you're gonna take a look at lines and you're gonna practice different types of lines and practice applying them in a new way in a work of art. You're gonna have assignment for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday is gonna be a catch-up day, so if you didn't get time or have time to do any of the things before, you can do that. I'm also gonna have some fun things posted Thursday and Friday if you did get done and you want something to do. All right, one last thing. Let's take a look at this work of art by a very famous artist named Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock is known for his splatter paintings or drizzle paintings. So as you can tell, his paintings, guys, they're huge. They take up like a whole wall. So this painting right here, there's lots of colors, drips of paint. It may look like he made this very quickly, but Jackson Pollock actually works very slowly. He actually is very methodical and really thinks about where he wants different colors and drips and splatters to go. But this is a work of art that really had a lot of lines that stood out to me. There are lots of different splatters that are going horizontal, diagonal, vertical, and basically this painting is made up of different colors and different splatters of lines of paint. So this is a great example of lines in a work of art. All right, friends, I love you. I miss you. I hope that you have a great week. Email me if you have any problems or questions. You're going to be posting your assignments to the Padlet that are at the bottom, the lower down on my eClass page. There's a Padlet for kindergarten through 2nd and a Padlet for 3rd through 5th. All right, I hope you guys have fun, and I hope to see you soon.